Hi, my name is Morven and I have been asked to put together a small video to help the oboes make the best out of Pomp and Circumstance March number 4, which you're going to be playing for the Grand Orchestra at the end of the SScOT course. So I'm going to kind of assume that we're all in a room together as we would be in a sectional, and I'll give you a few pointers, things to be aware of, things to look out for. Now, I assume that before you start playing, you all soak your reeds. Now, if you don't have access to water, then of course you just stick the thing in your mouth. But if you have a little pot of water, and I have a little glass here, you can use a small jam jar. I fill it with cold water, and I just want to soak really just the scraped part of the reed, so it's about just over a centimetre worth. And what I do is I put the reed in the water and then I put the oboe together. And in the time it takes to put the oboe together, the reed will have soaked enough for you to be able to play. It just makes it easier, and it will respond quicker. And of course, make sure you squawk the reed before you put it in the oboe. I'm sure that you all know this, but sometimes it's worth mentioning. Just, somebody might not realise that again makes things much easier before you then play a note. Now, I gravitate towards an A. Why? Because the oboe generally gives the A in the orchestra. And although that probably won't happen this time, obviously with the virtual orchestra, but it is good as an oboist that you practice playing an A, so that when your shot comes to actually giving an A to an orchestra, then you know you can do it. Make sure you're sitting up straight. Sorry, that's something you should so no cross legs. Absolutely no cross legs, okay? So sit on the edge of the seat with your knees at about right angles from the ground, and sit up straight and don't slouch, because you can't play as well. And if you're wanting to warm up, just play an A and see how long you can hold that note on for, but keeping it nice and steady, okay? We don't want we don't want that. That's nobody can tune to that. It needs to be nice and steady, no vibrato, absolutely steady, but project the sound across the room, okay? So that's something that we should all practice. No matter whether we're a beginner or an experienced player, because when it comes to your moment of giving the A, you need to know you can do it. Okay, so it's good to practice just. Anyway, you can always have a tuning machine. Smartphones and iPads, you can get an app if you want, to help make sure that the A is absolutely A equals 440 hertz. Other things to take into account: never leave your oboe sitting on a music stand. I've seen that a few times, and it's like, no, the stand may appear to be secure, but it may not be, so please don't. And equally, don't just rest the oboe on the ground like that. The bell is not big enough. So if you do want to leave it upright, then you need to get yourself a proper oboe stand, okay? And that's a safe way of holding the oboe when you're not playing, when you're counting your rests or just having a little rest between pieces, or when the teacher's chatting. Failing that, just rest it across, just hold on to it. I think that's always a good thing. And watch out for the reed, okay? There's nothing worse than somebody waving an oboe about and the reed gets damaged. Doesn't necessarily happen deliberately, but people will walk into them. So keep the reed. I would suggest keep the oboe upright when you're sitting counting your bars rest. Now, counting bars rest, actually. There are a few in the circumstance. We're in 2 in the bar, so you would be counting 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2. And you might see that I'm actually using my fingers, my hand, to help me remember which bar I'm on, okay? And you can do that just by resting your hand on your knee and doing it very subtly. Don't make a big thing about it, but it's good to keep note of where you are. Now, at the very beginning, it says in bar 3 on both the first oboe and the second parts, it says simile, just beneath the notes there. Now, if you look at the first 2 bars, you'll see that the first 2 bars are mostly staccato. There's a tenuto, that's a play full length and sort of lean on the note in the second bar. That figure, that articulation, you should repeat for the whole of that next section, okay? Right up to figure B, okay? But in the easy oboe part, it's all noted out for you. All the staccato dots are there, so you don't need to worry about that. But in the oboe, first oboe and second oboe, you have the articulation, the staccato, and you carry that right the way through to figure B. And so on and so forth in the next section, unless it's marked otherwise, as it is 2 bars before A. So that's one thing to look for. Simile is also noted at figure S. Again, you have staccato crotchets, and then the staccato dots disappear. But simile tells me that they are all to be played staccato. And even when you have an accent, you have some of these hi-hat, the upside down V's, you still make those notes short, but they are staccato, but accented, okay? Etc. And again, at figure T, you have staccato. It doesn't actually say simile, but you would continue to play all these crotchets short and detached, okay? Another thing to look for, when you have the big tune, she says trying to find it. Here we are, figure J. Sorry, I've just had to move myself there. Figure J. Play out the little notes. This applies for the semiquavers earlier on in the piece as well. But when you have the big tune at J, we don't want to be hearing that's not what the ear will always hear. The long notes, so you need to make sure that the audience can hear the little notes, so you play louder on the quavers, and it would apply in the semiquavers earlier on as well. And you don't need to work hard on the long notes. Everybody, fair proportion of the band or of the orchestra are going to be playing those long notes. So don't worry about trying to sort of force the air through them. You want to play the little notes and then take it easy on the long notes at the ends of these phrases. And that way you won't get so tired, because that is an issue for all wind and brass players. Earlier on, when you have semiquavers, again, lots of air going through those semiquavers. Don't shy away from them. Go for them. Practice the fingerings. Practice the fingerings in different rhythms. Ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba, and then ba 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 ba, and you'll be able to play those arpeggios much more securely, and you'll enjoy playing them that way if you can. I think that's all I need to kind of say. First and foremost, have great fun, okay? Just enjoy playing this fantastic piece of music, and try and get the articulations. Keep blowing all the time. I know that sounds a silly thing to say when you play a wind instrument, but you'd be surprised how often we forget to blow, okay? So I hope those little tips have been helpful, enjoy. And I look forward to seeing all your performances on the virtual orchestra when it eventually comes out. Okay, have fun, and see you soon. Bye.